Hello and welcome to Retro Core, and in this show we're going to be taking a look at the Game King. Now, what is a Game King, you might be wondering? Well, a Game King is basically this black box here. What we have is a standard PC with a JAMMA interface on top. In fact, it's a Pentium 4 motherboard. So let's take a look inside to see what's actually in here. I've taken the screws off already. Now, I must say that there are two versions of this system. One is just a bare bones PCB board, and then there's this one which comes in the black case. Now, on top we have the JAMMA interface board, which you can see right here, and below that we have the basic Pentium 4 board. Now, some of the earlier versions of this came with a hard drive, a standard SATA hard drive, which did tend to crash a lot, and they also came with Celeron 4 processors. Not this model, mind you. This one has a genuine Pentium 4 processor in it and a solid state hard drive, which you can see snuggled down the back right there. I don't know if it's going to be in focus, but there it is. As standard, it comes with DDR400 RAM. You only get 512 megabytes, but that can be upgraded. So this one will be upgraded to 1 gigabyte. I'm just waiting for the memory to come from Amazon. The power pack is a standard ATX multi-voltage power pack, and as you can see, it has the multi-voltage switch there and a fan, of course. In fact, the fans in this machine are the biggest problem, because the ones that come with it are extremely noisy, especially this bad boy here, if it's going to focus. Come on, there you go. Get into focus, you bugger. Right, it is extremely noisy, and we've got an extractor fan on the back as well. So let's take a look at the JAMMA interface board. Now, this is what you need to connect the system to your arcade cabinet. We've got a couple of dip switches here. These ones control game settings and so on, and these ones control the coins. You also have another section over here on the side to add up to 3 and 4 players. So that's very handy. These two little knobs on the top are your left and right volume controls. Now, as standard, video doesn't actually come out of the JAMMA harness on some of these systems, because you see these little white wires here? They have to be connected to the back of the VGA socket and then rewired onto here. And some systems are not wired up correctly, which is a bit of a shame. But not to worry, you can get video through the VGA section. Now, my TV doesn't have a VGA socket on the back of it, so I have to use this VGA to HDMI converter. Now, this thing is extremely cheap, but believe it or not, the quality is also extremely good. It basically takes the normal VGA signal and converts it to HDMI. It doesn't upscale it or downscale it or do anything to it. Basically, it just gives you the pure image. The actual box needs to be powered by USB in some cases. In other cases it doesn't, but on this machine it does need USB power, which goes into here. The audio comes out of the actual PC's motherboard and goes into the HDMI converter, and then through the HDMI cable into the FrameMeister, which we have up here. And the reason I'm using a FrameMeister is because I can upscale the image and get a very good arcade style looking image from the VGA. The actual JAMMA connector goes into the Super Gun, as you can see there, and the Super Gun is of course connected to the arcade stick. Okay, now as I mentioned before, this thing has a lot of fans in it and is very loud. So let's boot it up and see how loud it is. Best thing is, with this system you don't need to connect the Super Gun's power. It gets all its power from the actual Game King. Now, it usually boots up in around about 60 seconds. So let's see what it looks like on the screen. So as you can see, we've got the Game King on the screen right now, and it's set to special. What you can basically do is have all your games put into certain categories. As you can see, there are 2019 games on here. Now, most of the games work pretty much perfectly. Now, remember the video I did regarding the, the Pandora's Box 3, where a lot of the games didn't seem to work? Well, you don't have that problem on here. For example, let's put Outrunners on, which isn't even on the Pandora's Box. I'm going to put the camera into manual focus to stop it changing focus all the time. Insert the coin. And as you can see, it runs absolutely perfectly. Okay, now you can actually get out of the games by holding down the start button, which I will do right now. Alright, just wait about 10 seconds and there we're out. Now, of course, this system does have a lot of vertical games on it. Let's say, for example, Outzone is a vertical looking game. So, when you actually play this on a normal system, on normal TV, the image is going to be all stretched like that. But not to worry, because on modern TVs, all you do is you change the screen setting. There we go, screen normal. And if you've got FrameMeister, you can enhance it even more by making your very own custom setting, which I have done here. So let's load Arcade V for Arcade Vertical, and we're using the HDMI. And what that will do is give me the true arcade screen resolution. There we go, coming back on. There you go, perfect. Insert the coin, and let's start. Okay, so let's get back out of that game and show you some other games which never really worked on the Pandora's Box. And since I'll be playing normal games, I better put all the settings back to normal and not set to vertical screen settings. There we go. Arcade normal. Yeah, if you're really into your games, you really should have an XRGB Mini, a FrameMeister, especially if you're using modern equipment. Okay, so let's take a look at the Street Fighters. We're going the wrong way, should be going this way. There we go, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, let's go for that one. Now, as you can see, that's an emulator booting there. This system does actually use various different emulators for different games, which is why there's a lot more compatibility.
Street Fighter 3. Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Prepare for battle. Well, I got to think, yeah. That's what I expected. Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
As you can see, I'm getting my ass kicked, but the game works absolutely perfectly. No lag, no slowdown, no drop frames. Perfect. Okay, another game that never really worked on the Pandora. This is Sunset Riders. Works perfect on this. This game has a bit of screen tearing though. That's due to the refresh resolution of my TV. Never played this before, so probably gonna get my ass kicked big time. As you can see, it runs perfectly, full speed. Full screen, everything. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the system does work fairly well. There is one game which doesn't seem to work that well though. Killer Instinct 1 and 2.
Killer Instinct. Jago. Fight on. Ready.
Well, again, I don't know how to play this. As you can see, it's not too bad. There are 1 or 2 slight frame drops, but overall, it's very smooth. Let's take a look at Killer Instinct 2. Yeah, I'm making no apologies for my gameplay skills here. I've never played this game ever. Yeah, it's got a few frame skipping problems, but seems to be pretty smooth though. But yeah, I've tried out a couple of 100 games on this so far, and the 2 Killer Instinct ones are the only ones which seem to give me any trouble. Okay, let's take a look at the options the system has. Okay, so we've actually flipped down the dip switch number 4 on the hardware, and what that does is allows us to go into the settings screen, and as you can see here, I'm now removing games from the games list. So any games that you don't want on the games list, you can take them away. See? Let's take away Crazy Killer Comet. There you go, bye bye, that's gone. And this is really useful if you don't want to go through all the old crappy games that you don't want to play. Now it is also possible to actually change the settings on certain games. Example, let's go to Batagun, start it up. So we can check out the dip switches and stuff. You can see here, you can change all that. And what you have to do, you have to actually save these by going to another menu in the Game King. Now to access the other menu you need a second joypad, second joystick hooked up, which unfortunately I don't have hooked up at the moment, so it's going to be a bit difficult to show you that screen. But needless to say, you can customize every single game's own dip switch settings and save them, so you can have all the games set up the way you want them set up. Now let's look at the actual hardware settings on the Game King. Now here we go, we've got the video modes, enter there. Oops, which one is it?
VGA.
Okay. Now what's really weird, I never knew this, but this will actually output sound through the VGA socket. As far as I'm aware, you can't output sound through a VGA. I thought it was only for image, but this thing does, but only on this screen, which is very useful if you sort of lose the picture and you're trying to figure out what screen setting you've got on. But anyway, it very kindly tells you what mode you're looking at.
NTSC PALSEGA.
Okay, so they're the different types of resolutions you can use. I'm using 31 kilohertz VGA mode at the moment. Game list settings. So before you saw me taking away some games from the game list, this is where you would save those settings. But I don't want to take away those games, so I'm just going to restore game list. Oh, sorry, restore default game list. Sorry. Okay. You can also show and hide certain game lists. So you know, if you got kids playing on this thing, you want to go and hide certain games such as adults and so on. So since this is for use by me, I'm going to have all these sections actually showing. Okay. Then you got configure files where you can save all the configurations of the games. So you know, if you change all your dip switch settings and so on, this is where you save those settings. And of course you've got language selection, which is only in Chinese or English. And update system, where you can add new games to the system and update the emulation software if needed. Okay, so there you have it. That is the Game King. 2019 games. Actually, it's not actually 2019 original games, because some of them have two versions of the same game on. You've got Bloody Raw 2 there. Example, these two are basically the same bloody game, just slight different variations of it. Yeah. So I'd say, to be honest, there's probably around about 1,700 truly original games on this. Yeah, Tekken 2.